Anthony Pratt flew an airplane across the state of Florida before he ever drove a car. At 16 years old, Anthony enrolled in flight school with his friend Michael D. Berry, where he not only learned how to work hard, but developed values and principles that would stick with him for the rest of his life.
Flight school was like another 3 classes added on to what we were doing in school. And then if you're flying that day, you know, that's a whole nother experience in itself. It was a lot of hard work, man. And I guess it was just the goal we had was bigger than the struggles we were facing. It was something that we just truly enjoyed. We enjoyed flying and we enjoyed the process of it.
The first solo flight is a huge moment in an aviator's life. It's the first time they're in singular control of the plane and marks the transition from student to pilot. Air schools celebrate students' first solo flights with an old tradition. After a successful landing, pilots cut a piece of fabric from their shirt they're wearing and hang it on the airport wall.
I remember looking over to my right side and realizing, like, oh crap, like there's no one here next to me, so if I mess up or forget something, like, it's on me, you know? Yeah. And like, it was scary, but it was exciting at the same time. And just going through, doing those landings and coming down, the feeling was so exciting, man. Like nothing beats that at all, bro. Like solo flying is one of the best flying experiences I've ever had, man. I enjoyed it the most.
The grueling hours of studying and endless time commitment was only part of the struggle Anthony and Michael faced at the airport. The boys were young, black males, a rarity in aviation circles, and this brought along its own set of problems.
It's funny because we go around the airport sometimes and people thought we watch the planes. You know, it was like, no, we're like flying the planes. We're actually going to flight training. We're becoming pilots, or we are pilots. It was funny because we tell them like we're pilots, like their whole demeanor just changes. They just kind of pause, like, whoa, like you guys are pretty young, you know, and they're surprised because they automatically think something that's not true, or they assume different things. And we try to defy those assumptions, man, and just do what we were there to do, and it was great, man.
Anthony and Michael didn't let race stunt their progress. They vowed to learn as much as possible, develop relationships, and finish with their pilot's license. The boys spent nearly every Friday and Saturday night at the airport, talking with anyone they met and soaking up as much knowledge as possible.
Some people were a little bit standoffish. Some people weren't as quick to speak to you, or they'll kind of like look at you a little bit or wonder who you are or ask people questions. You can see it happening. Sometimes you get the random conversations where people incorporate race randomly that has nothing to do with anything. But when a jet would come into the airport, we would walk up to the guy who just pulled him like, hey, this airplane, tell us about it. What do you do? How'd you get there? We wanted to know everyone's story of how they made it in the industry, so that way we had an idea of what way we should go, so we don't have to face the same struggles they went through. You know, learn from other people's failures or struggles.
The hard work and dedication paid off, and before he knew it, Anthony was flying solo every week. He and Michael would take the plane to different airports across the state, sometimes just to grab a casual lunch or look for unseen spots in Jacksonville. They became a fixture at the airport, and fellow pilots began taking them under their wing.
One of my mentors in particular, a guy named Keith Sims, he's a Navy pilot. He flies P3s and he also flies for UPS. He's helped me a lot as far as meeting new people, getting those connections. He's one of the people I know, like if I need something, I'll call him and he knows someone who could help me out, or he'll give me the knowledge I need to get to where I'm trying to go.
Flight school taught Anthony more than just aviation. It showed him that he can overcome any obstacle in the world with enough work and passion.
One of the biggest things I learned from flying is just the concept of sacrifice. I had to put in the time, and I remember that's something I always thought about in high school. I didn't want to be placed into a box. You know, I felt limitless. I was like, I can do whatever I want to do. If I set my mind to it, I can accomplish anything I want to. And I refuse to allow anyone to put me in a box and tell me what I can't do. And I still live my life that way.